Will she pop back in?
That last one that was the link for.
Oh, so she was coming in late.
Yeah, she was coming in late.
Okay.
So this is the link
Really
for the 4:30 session.
Yeah, really late because she came on when everybody was done and gone.
Do you remember who she was?
Yeah, A. Smith, but she didn't even hear.
Yeah,
she didn't even talk to us because I mean she was good.
So don't count her.
Don't count her.
I didn't put her on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the alumni group. That was she's.
Yeah, she was real late. So no.
Now this
But
is
you just
current
hung up on her
student.
without telling her bye.
So this is the current student group that they got the link for the 4:30 meeting.
All right. That's beautiful.
And so
If you mute us, so I don't say anything. Hello. I am happy to know that all of you all thought it was important enough that you have taken a piece of your Sunday to share your wisdom with us. I am Emma Savage Davis. I'm one of the team members from CAEP.
I'm Anna Maria Schumann, another team member, and welcome and thank you so much for being with us today.
And we need to know who we're speaking to as part of our efforts. So I'm going to start with Mary. And now here's the difference. I can see 4 people at a time, and I know there's more than 4 people online. So as I go, and that's what's going to help us, because I'm going to write your names down to help us keep up with you all and make sure everybody is having a chance to share. So Mary, tell me what program you currently are and whether you're online or face-to-face.
I'm in the MTLCI program. I'm in the master's level.
Hold on a minute, Mary. We need to take something out of the screen.
Okay,
great.
You're the MT
LCI.
LCI.
So the master's. And sorry.
You're face-to-face?
I am, no, online only.
Online, and it's a 3-year program. What year are you in?
I'm in my next to last semester.
Okay.
And what do those initials stand for, Mary?
Masters for Teacher Leadership in Curriculum and Instruction.
Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, A. Smith.
Yes, I'm Frida Smith. I'm a principal in Winston-Salem Forsyth County School Systems, and I'm in the doctoral program there. It's a hybrid program, if you will.
Ed Leadership doctoral program?
Yes, Ed Leadership. Yes, so we meet by Zoom, and also we report to class.
Hybrid.
Yes.
And where are you in the program?
I'm at the very end of my coursework and getting ready to start writing on my dissertation.
Okay. And Paige. You're muting, Paige. Unmute. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
No, yes, I can, but we're talking to Paige right now. I'll be right with you, okay?
I am in the MAIT Masters in Instructional Technology, and I'm online only.
And where are you in the program?
I am in my 2nd semester. I just started last fall.
All right. Christina? Christina?
Yes. I'm in the MTLCI program as well, and I graduate in a couple weeks.
Say those letters again.
MTLCI.
CI. And you are online, and you're at the end. And Jay Goodson.
Yes. I am also in the MTLCI and will also graduate May 11th of this year.
All right. A lot of graduates. Person on the phone, I don't know your name.
Is it Nick Tomlin?
Yeah.
Okay, no, it wasn't, but hello, Nick.
Hey, sorry.
Okay, tell us.
Nick, that's good.
Uh-oh, telephone person is talking. Wait. Okay. Nick?
Yes.
What program?
MEL.
And online or hybrid?
Online.
And where are you in your program?
Graduate May 11th.
You said what?
I graduate May 11th.
All right.
Congratulations.
So
1 month to go.
So that was Nick. Jay Gooden was the one before. I forgot because they're not going to have your names. Christina, you're MTLCI, right? Graduating. I forgot I need to write these names. Person on the phone, what is your name?
Hi, my name is Carrie Page. That's why I was confused as to if you were talking to me or not.
You're Carrie?
I am Carrie, yes. and I am the MELS program,
Okay, so
and I graduate this May.
Say your letters again. MTL.
MEL.
Okay. And you're Terry.
I'm sorry.
You're Terry.
Yes.
And you're graduating May 11th.
Right.
All right. Who else do I have on here?
Anybody we didn't call on?
Marianne Smith.
What is your name? Marianne. Marianne.
Yes.
I spoke to a Marianne earlier. Are you the Marianne I spoke to earlier?
No, ma'am.
All right. What program?
MELS.
MELS.
It's the only one.
MELS.
Online. And do you graduate?
In July.
Okay.
And we have this young lady here.
I know, but I've still got plenty online.
All right.
Anyone else?
I
Yes.
haven't either.
Okay, what's your name?
Amanda,
And what program?
MELS.
Mel's again.
And when do you graduate?
I graduate in May.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yes, I am Denise Cyrus. I am in the EDCI program, Curriculum and Instruction, the doctoral program, and I graduated in May.
You will graduate in May.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
And you were hybrid, right, Denise?
It was considered low residency, so we did some time on campus. And
On Saturdays, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay. Low residence is, I guess, definition of hybrid, so we're good. How about someone else? Oh, Amanda, I got you. Anyone else?
Yeah, I don't think you got me yet.
No, I haven't.
I've come in a couple
What's your
times.
name?
Ryan.
Ryan.
Ryan. And what program?
I'm in the MELS.
And when do you graduate?
I'm on track for next year.
Okay. All right. Anyone else?
Yeah,
I'm Brittany Cunningham.
Okay, Brittany.
Yes, and I'm in the MTLCI program, and I'm in my second semester, and I'm doing this online.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm DeMarcus. I graduate August 3rd. I'm MELS 604 right now.
August. Okay. And what's your name again?
DeMarcus Jones.
Jones.
Thank you. And MTLCI online. Anyone else? All right. And your name?
I'm Mary Frances Hamrick. I'm in the school counseling program, master's here at Gardner Webb on site.
Did you get the right program for DeMarcus? I said MELS. Sound like you said.
Oh,
something.
I did not. Okay, MELS. Thank you, DeMarcus, for correcting me.
Yes, ma'am.
And when do you finish?
May 11th.
Ah,
A lot of
graduations. So you should be excited here.
Yes.
Did I miss anyone? Did anyone not tell me you're there? Who was the first person who I spoke to?
The first person?
Me, Mary.
Mary. And I missed one more name. Who was the third?
The third page.
Page, okay. All right. So we are here, not in a punitive way. What we're here is Gardner Webb has provided us a story of their educational program. And within that story, they tell us how their programs are run and how they work with students and how the students are doing within their programs. Then we look at that report and it's all aligned to standards, CAEP standards. And then we look at that assessment and their self-study and we say, okay, we see this. we don't quite see this. We like to verify this a little bit more for clarity purposes, and then they send us some additional information. And then we look through that additional information and we say, okay, they said it here, they said it there. Now we want to see if the stakeholders also say that where it's impacted. As well as we say, okay, we're not clear on this or need a little more clarification, and then we ask those questions. That's what we're here for, is to get clarification. The whole purpose of this process is for continuous improvement. When we visit a university, we are visiting it because they said, we are doing this, we want to do this, we have gotten better this way, and we want to get better this way. Because throughout the 7-year span, we expect programs to constantly improve, to get better. You know, if you stay complacent and the same, you can't grow. And so we want programs to continually grow based on who they are and what they're trying to do. We're not dictating to them what they have to be. They're telling us what they do as it relates to our standards. So we're going to be asking you a series of questions. Some of the questions are coming directly from us, but some of the questions are going to come from our team members. So therefore, you're going to see us get on our phones and see us get on our iPads and look through our notes, because our teammates have emailed us questions or sent us or wrote down little slips of paper in order for us to represent, because we can't be in all the places at one time. So we kind of split the duties. So with that said and done, I'm gonna let you start with the first question.
Okay. Hi, everybody, and thank you so much for being here. One of the questions for our team, from our team, concerns about how you get feedback in the programs where you're in, and how do you know that you're making successful progress towards graduation? A lot of you evidently made very successful progress because you're about to graduate. But how were you given feedback? How did you know that you were doing well? What we call program progression. We have entry requirements, we have exit requirements. I'm sure you know those. What were the requirements for progressing in your program?
Knowing how you progress, how the sequencing of the course, how the building of the skills. Okay, Jay Goodson.
Yeah, I would say I am getting my master's after 23 years of teaching. So I wasn't really sure what to expect. I haven't been in college since 1996. And I was kind of thinking it would be like it was in 1996. But I can definitely say that I can see this program has advanced with education. So all of the tenets that we are supposed to be studying in the curriculum masters have been evident in the structure of the coursework. So for assessment and progress, you have collaborative types of assessments, formative and feedback. So we get feedback from our peers on every major evidence. And you can see the tenets of UBD that are obvious in the way the curriculum was set up. So everything is front loaded to help us prepare for the performance tasks that we're going to turn in at the end of each semester. And I love that because that's how we should be teaching our lessons. So they have actually designed the whole entire master's program around the same thing they want us to do and learn and go back and take to our own classrooms or in any kind of coaching role. So we get constant feedback from our peers. We also get feedback from our professors on a weekly and very timely basis that tells us how we're doing in learning the material that we need to be able to accomplish what makes up our major course grades. They also use the same tenets of assessment with rubrics, and we have those from the very beginning of the semester. We are asked every semester to take a close look at those, to give our own interpretation of what those mean so they can make sure that we're on track with what we're supposed to be doing, and then they tell us if we're not. So, you know, kind of all of that working together, you're really set up for success if you are completing everything that you do. And you get, I don't feel like there's been a semester where I have not had feedback that I needed to make sure that I complete everything successfully.
And do you have opportunity for self-reflection?
Oh, yeah. Like reflection is a huge R. Standard 5 is definitely built into weekly assignments. Every discussion board post, we reflect on all of our major evidences. We reflect on how we're doing, even on peer feedback. So reflection, I would say, is probably, and that's kind of a newer thing for me because we didn't do a lot of that in my undergrad back in the 90s. So I have found that extremely valuable, especially since, I have taught for 23 years, so I got a lot of reflecting
Yes.
to reflect on, and being able to take that's been a huge portion of the program.
Thank you. Denise, I see your hand up.
Yes, I just wanted to piggyback on what she said. I believe that pretty much encompasses most of what we do in terms of feedback from our professors, but I found to be very helpful the peer review process, especially in the doctoral program, having my peers review my work and to get those different perspectives and that type of feedback. I felt that was rich and really important to my growth in this program. So yes, we start off the evidence with a rubric and we lay it down with how we feel. However, once we start interacting with our peers and getting that feedback, even before we get to the stage where a professor gives our feedback to us, I think that was really the biggest growth point for me, learning to take feedback from my peers and use that in order to better my work.
So the peer from feedback comes before the feedback from the instructor?
Yes, you do have, at least in my program, we have had opportunities to have peer review and work with each other before we submit our work in for formative assessment.
Do you get feedback from others outside of the university or not a peer? Like if you take something back to your school, stakeholders?
Depending on the nature of the evidence that we were working on, yes, because each evidence did require some level of collaboration at our sites. And in our program, we also did a cross cohort where we actually had a chance to interact with other cohorts in the same program.
Now, how well did you not you, Denise, I want to hear from, how well did you understand how to do the various tasks or assignments? How did they get that across to you since you were online? I'll take you, Smith second. Who is I have a male voice. I don't know who the male voice was.
It was Nick.
Okay, Nick. And then it's gonna be Nick, Smith, Marianne, and then I have already gotten Denise already, so. All right. Smith, Nick.
Okay. So with with it being all online, it was I was concerned about that at the beginning, because a few of my friends have went through the hybrid program, where you go for the face-to-face once a week or whatever. And I didn't know how well I was going to do with just 100% online, but all of our professors have been really awesome to work with as far as whether it be email or doing Zoom sessions one-on-one. Like we've done Zoom sessions one-on-one, and they would walk me through things and show me, and maybe, like I said, through an email or even over the phone. All of our instructors have been great to communicate with and help me out like that.
All right, A. Smith.
I would say I have some similar comments. As far as assignments, I'm on a hybrid schedule, but most of our meetings were on Wednesday by way of Zoom. However, all the expectations and assessments were clearly laid out before classes even started. Okay. They were laid out by way of them sharing their syllabus, the requirements, the rubrics, the expectations, the grading scale. Everything was laid out. And more importantly, if you did have a question when you received it, even before class, there's a line of open communication, or it has been, with all the instructors that I've been given the opportunity to work with, and they're always available to answer any questions that you have. But it's very clear, it's very plain, extremely detailed, and laid out for all students.
Did you have any instructional videos to kind of explain the assignments?
Well, they're absolutely, maybe not necessarily the assignments, but videos that would enhance the learning, if you will. Instructional videos, things that they would upload in Blackboard for us to see, even before we had Zoom classes or went on the weekends. A lot of helpful information before you even got to class that you could look at in advance. So yes, ma'am, yes.
Okay, Mary Ann is going to go next, and then Jay Goodson, I saw you nodding, so you're going to go next.
Okay.
Okay. And then piggyback off of them, I was kind of nervous with it all being online as well. But when I started the program, everything was outlined from the very first course all the way through the last course. So we had everything up front. And then we have weekly Zoom sessions with our professor, but then we also have Zoom sessions with our clinical coach. And our clinical coach has a Zoom session with us and goes over what's expected for each task that we have to complete, and make sure that we have a clear understanding, and clears up any questions we may have prior to working on each task. And then we've also been assigned a peer group that we Zoom with, and we've been able to stay with the same peer group from the very first course all the way through, and I'm assuming it's going to be the next class. We only have one more class after this semester, so I'm assuming it'll be the same way. We'll stay with that class group then. But and they're very good because we review each other's papers, and we have come like a tight-knit group as well. And it's very nice to be able to network with them since we're not able to meet face-to-face. It's almost like meeting face-to-face with our Zoom group.
Okay, Jay Goodson.
I was just going to add that within our program, there is always an instructional video for all the major evidences that is done by Dr. Putnam, where she goes through the rubric step by step, explains each part and talks about each part. They also provide exemplars for all of our major evidences that we can look at. And they're not necessarily all done in the exact same format to allow for individuality, but it is provided and made very clear exactly, what each part is. And then they also usually provide as well some additional resources beyond just the course content that we study, additional resources specific to those evidences.
Anyone else? Okay.
That's another question. How many of you had to do internships on your program? Any kind of practical experience?
Can we hear from?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sure.
I am in the MAIT program with the instructional technology, and so this summer, with all the technology, I'm actually going to be working at our district office, working with that internship with some of the people who actually work in our whole school district, learning about the software and helping them get the actual tools and the things ready for the teachers for next school year for my internship.
Okay. And speaking of technology, how well prepared and how infused is technology within your program?
Oh, how were you? How were you prepared for it?
No, let's say infused, yeah.
Well, with each of the actual assignments we have every week, from reading various texts, books, we submit different reflections and summaries. And with whatever is actually in that assignment for that week, we then usually take that and submit some kind of, like right now I'm in the hypermedia class. So for each assignment, I'm actually creating some type of hypermedia program or software, like I'm using, can't remember the program right now, but I could actually take that and use that with my own students, just seeing it used in my class that I'm taking right now.
Paige, and your master's is in instructional technology, right? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
How about some of you whose best degree program is not in technology?
Somebody from, we haven't heard too much from the males. How about the males?
I think A. Smith is trying to say something.
Oh,
or no?
No, I was just gonna say, I mean, technology, we use it almost every time we meet, by way of presentations, using multimedia presentations. I mean, everything we do, there's a piece of technology some way, somehow. A lot of presentations there.
Okay, excellent.
Thank you.
How
Maybe we
about
could hear from Mary Frances. Tell us about the technology in the school counseling program.
I would agree with what the others have said, that we use technology in every time we meet in some form of either an interviewing skills or videos, things like that. Yes.
DeMarcus, tell us a little bit about your program.
Yeah, I'm in the MELS for the Executive Leadership Studies. And pretty much, so you want to know about the technology part or?
Oh, no, your program.
The internship.
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty much, I'm actually working while I'm doing the, but everything is on, we do Zoom on Tuesday nights. So, I'm with the same cohort that I started with, so it's pretty much working out pretty good. But it's Executive Leadership Studies, so I'm pretty much, my objective is trying to become an admin or assistant principal somewhere. So, but it's working out pretty good. We pretty much, we do a lot of technology for our Zoom meetings and how we turn in our papers and do our writings or whatever. So, but what other question? Am I on the right track for answering that question?
Yes, and tell me about a strength of your program.
The strength.
What's one thing that you could say is just really outstanding about your program?
Well, I tell you, it brought my level of technology use up quite a bit. And plus, the feedback that I get from my clinical coaches and my instructors is awesome, because if my turnaround time, if I turn something in or if I need to, they give me some comments that I need to make some corrections. All of that is pretty much on point. So it's almost like being actually face-to-face. But if not, I can email them and they'll return the call back real soon.
Okay, thank you. Mary, what about you?
So I'm in my next to last semester of curriculum and instruction. Each semester we've had to conduct some sort of professional development for new teachers, for department members, for various audiences, and that has always required a Web 2.0 tool and an interactive presentation. The feedback I've gotten from the professors, and I've had a different professor every semester, has been amazing and has pushed me so much that I've applied to do doctoral work in the fall and been accepted.
Excellent. Terry. Are you still with us, Terry? How about Ryan?
Well, I have a really interesting situation because I started this program in 2012 when it first started, and then I moved and was out of the program for a little while. So I picked it back up, and I can tell you that it's changed tremendously as far as technologically advanced. Zoom meetings were not existent when I first started this, and everything was much more of like a typical online class.
Okay, thank you. Brittany.
Yes, ma'am. So one of the things that I love about this program so far is the choice that we have in the projects that we do. So there's a running list of 2.0 tools that we're able to use for all of our major projects and evidences. And I've learned so many new things. I even just created a Google website for the first time to submit one of my projects. And in addition to that, I just love the support that we get from the teachers. She is always giving us, Dr. Putnam is giving us feedback immediately. She's like my biggest cheerleader. She's always encouraging me to do the best that I can do and giving me that feedback, whether it's through a text message or an email or through the Gardner Web website. And additionally, I just think all the activities that we're doing, whether it's technology, relate just so heavily back to those NC standards that it's making me a better teacher overall. I can really see how this class is making me a stronger teacher right now. I'm a high school Spanish teacher, so every project and every lesson that I'm doing here at Gardner-Webb, I'm easily able to take it and transfer it into my teaching in high school. So it's definitely helped me become a stronger teacher in only 2 semesters.
Thank you. Terry.
I think that was Carrie with the C,
Okay.
ma'am. Carrie Page.
Yeah,
Not Terry.
You're Carrie? Carrie with a K? But Nick, you can go.
No, I think that was my Carrie Page with the C. She's in my group, not Terry.
Okay. But go on, Nick. Why don't you share?
I have to echo what everybody else has said there. These instructors, every single one of them from the very beginning, have been over backwards to. I've been in the National Guard on active duty for the last year and a half, and literally I've been all over the world at one point in time or another, and I've still been able to get all the support and everything I needed for my class. And then when I come home, I've been able to go to school, and I've had to take leave from the military to go to school and get my internship done. And it could have been really hard, and they just made it seamless, like nothing but positive feedback and immediate feedback. And I ask a lot of questions just because I'm a very detail-oriented person, and they have all just helped me out with all of those questions. So, it's been awesome.
Okay. Now, remember I said at the very beginning that this is about improvement, about growing, about continuing to have a high quality program, which is what you've been talking about. If there was something you could share with the School of Ed to say, if you could do this, everything would be just totally perfect. Now I'm saying they're close to perfection. So what is that one thing that would make them perfect?
I hated 6 o'clock start times.
6 p.m.? 6 p.m.?
Yeah, I hated 6 p.m. because it's very hard to try to get home. And
What time does it start now?
that's what, like, most of our Zooms were at 6 p.m. and they did fluctuate, but that was it. That was it. Like, that's the only negative thing I got was the 6 p.m. start times. And we had to do that were just very hard for a worker.
And you're in the military, but probably a lot of the educators who are in the school say 6 p.m., that's too late. Let's get it closer to time before dinner time, right? So anyone else? That's good, Nick. Yes, Jay Goodson.
Yeah. This would be, I guess, really not a weakness on their part, but on mine. Because like I said before, was very pleasantly surprised by the entire program because I thought it would be so different, like traditional. What I really had the most struggle with initially was online collaboration, but it's necessary. And that's not something they can take out because that is a life skill that we all have to have. It's an education skill that we all have to have. It is something that is necessary that I have now instilled in my own classroom on a whole new level with students around the country. So even though it was aggravating to me at first because you're with so many different people around the state, or in 2 states, because I'm in South Carolina. So I'm dealing with different standards, I'm dealing with different people, but that has probably been one of the biggest strengths because, that's part of the hidden curriculum is that you've got to learn, especially if you're going to be a coach of any kind, if you want to go into curriculum instruction in that way, you've got to learn to work with a lot of different people, different places, different ways. So that online collaboration was not really their weakness, it was my weakness.
All right. Denise, I see your hand up.
Okay, well, I really wanted to answer about the strengths of my program.
Then answer about the strengths because it's my fault that I missed your hand.
That's okay. I'm patient, as you have to be in a program like this because you can't accomplish everything at once. But I really did enjoy the fact that I was able to bring my interest into my program, the EDCI program, the doctoral program. So even though every evidence was aligned to teacher leader model standards, the ISLIC standards, all of those things are great. However, I was able to grow and flourish in my own interest because of the flexibility in the types of assignments that have been offered to me. So I did want to highlight that. And in order to facilitate that some more, I think one of the things that my program might want to consider is giving students the option to have some input as to the texts that are selected and used in the class. I wasn't always a fan of every text. And I think that because at this stage we are informed and we do have some information that we can bring and help others grow in areas they may not necessarily know about, that there should be a platform that we can offer suggestions about text before we even get into the class.
Okay. And Mary Frances.
I agree with her that sometimes if we could just have a little more input with some of the materials or the ideas of the way things are going.
Input on
Just a little more student input into
Can you,
content.
Because you really spoke a lot about the feedback that you get from your peers on your assignments. And what you're saying is more feedback on the students to the instructors, that would help.
I think so.
Anybody else feels the same way, that student feedback is important? I know they will look for student feedback when you finish and as an alumni, but you're saying you would like to give feedback.
We have the opportunity, each class, at the end of class, to offer. I just think sometimes in the beginning, before everything is laid out, if we had more, especially as you've grown in the cohort, right, and to have an involvement in that, to kind of make it more your own. I've heard others say that they've grown personally through the programs, and that's true, and that's what you want. Education is about growth, and so having that personal input, I think would help a stronger program.
I'm sorry. I keep talking a lot, but I honestly feel like, and maybe it's just me, but I have made suggestions throughout the program for different resources, and Dr. Putnam has been always very open to that, and always responds and looks at those resources, and then I don't go back to see if she incorporates them later, but I feel like she probably does at some point if she finds them valuable. So I feel like she's very open to that all the time.
All right, A. Smith, I see you.
Yes, I just want to speak to just a few things very quickly. I'm also appreciative of the feedback, but more importantly of the coaching. So with feedback, we're just pretty much making recommendations about what to do to improve. With coaching, we're actually guided into doing so. So I actually appreciate the coaching that my instructors have done, number one. Another benefit is the relationship that the instructors have made with students in our program. I mean, it means a whole lot to have people to seek you out personally, to understand you as a student, and also value in that regard. As far as input, in my last class as a cohort, we were given the opportunity to kind of look at realigning and doing a curriculum audit as a project. So I can say that suggestions in the cohort that I'm in is not merely by way of survey at the end of the class, but in this last class, it was part of the work. The suggestions that we made became embedded as part of the work that we did as a class. So with realigning the sequence of courses and that type thing, and also working on the modules. So we did a lot of work. So we're looking to see the fruits of our labor, but it's been a great opportunity thus far.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yes, it's Christina.
Okay, Christina.
Thank you. So I feel like we've had a lot of choice in the curriculum and instruction program. I was actually just reflecting earlier today over the program, And it amazes me how much I have grown in areas that I chose to grow in, because we have the opportunity to choose what we research and what we are interested in, and use what we want to use as a platform to meet the standards that we're supposed to meet here in the program.
Excellent. Thank you. Anyone else?
Can I also go back and speak to the internship? I know that was.
Please do.
Kind of so to me, the internship, you got out of it what you put into it. My supervisor, we had to do, I think in total, 120 hours-ish over 3 semesters. And I got a whole lot out of it because I was always the go-getter that asked to do things and chose different activities that would help me grow. So while, and no one has said anything negative about that, but I feel like some people probably didn't get as much out of it because they weren't pursuing experiences to learn and grow, but it's all in what you make it.
Mary, I see you nodding your head. Do you want to add something to that?
I'll have to say that with each of the 3 semesters, I've pushed myself more with that clinical experience because they're very clear that we don't have to go outside of the classroom and outside of our school building to get those. But I've pushed myself and have taken more of a leadership at district level with English language arts in high schools because of that, so much so that I've been writing curriculum for us for next year for the entire district, and have been fortunate enough to be able to use that with the clinical experience.
Anyone else? I saw Paige pop in. You have something you want to add? Okay. One last question.
No, I think I'm good.
Well, we want to know, is there anything that you want to tell us that we need to know? I know you do. We're going to hold you to last because I know you do. But is there anyone else other than Jay Goodson who has something else that they would like to add that we should leave with? And you said we didn't ask the question, so give us our answer that we didn't ask. Oh, don't tell me that it's only Jay Goodson.
I don't know.
No?
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Go on. You know you.
Me? Okay. I'm a high school English teacher, so I can't help it. It's just, I'm that student. I'm that girl. The one thing that I like when I joined the program, because I have taught for so long, and you see after, more than 2 decades of teaching, the trends, you see things come and go, whatever. Everything in this program was current and research-based. And that, to me, was awesome, because when we did the PDs or we did the other things, it aligned to what's going on in our districts. And that made it much more relevant to us. And you can see that it is a constant revolving door. They are doing action research. They are doing literacy, digital literacy, as well as literacy across the curriculum. They're doing UBD research. All of those things that are current in educational policy are embedded in this curriculum at some point. And that was, to me, the biggest strength. The other thing I want to say that I loved is, like they said before, you got to focus on an area that's important to you. And we have an entire semester on advocacy in the curriculum instruction program. And that allowed me to then sort of push myself by reading some of those stories and some of the content and the text that were embedded that semester has added to my internship tremendously. And in South Carolina, we have a new education bill that's a real hot topic, as many states do. And that sort of allowed me to embed a lot more of the political side of education, because that's what affects us the most, into my internships from that semester. Reading that entrepreneur's text really encouraged me. So I've gone to some meetings with legislators. I've attended a lot of hearings, a lot of town halls, and had a bigger voice than I think I would have before in the actual education reform in South Carolina that's on the table. That's all. I'm sorry.
Anyone want to add to that? All right, hearing none, we want to thank you for having given up your time and for you coming in on your Sunday for many of you, right before spring break, we here. So we really want to thank you. It shows your dedication and appreciation for what they do here and what they have provided you all. I want to thank you, and I hope you have a blessed Sunday.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations. All those are graduating in May 20.
And August and July, yes.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you again.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you, Francis.
We appreciate you.